Alright everyone, a bit of video content regarding Ineffa today. As usual, we love messing around with potential team comp members of newly introduced characters that are coming. So yes, today is going to be all about Ineffa potential teams, even though as we know she's technically going to be more or less an electro charge character. However, the good thing about her is that she isn't obviously stuck in an electro charge team. So there are some other potential team comps that we can look into her. Now of course, all the informations are just based on pre-release data, and obviously her best team comps that we are considering in this video may change upon her official release. So yeah, take everything we discuss here with a grain of salt and just relax and enjoy yourself. Ineffa and patch 5.8 is going to be coming soon, and I know that there are characters that you are deciding to pull. So if you're planning to swipe for pulling, then don't forget to check out Loot Bar. If you know me, I've been recommending you guys Loot Bar before, since you can always save almost a 25% on all of your top-ups. With over 100,000 orders and so many good reviews at this point. And by the way, this also applies to PS5 and Xbox user who can place orders through Loot Bar. You can be sure that Loot Bar is trustworthy. Here you can see my order receipts of all of my top-ups that I have done. And for those who are going for the highest package when topping up, there's also a limited discount options available once every version. So guys, be sure to check out Loot Bar through the link in my description, as it can be a great way for you to save your money, especially if you are topping up a large amount. So first team that we're considering is going to be a Novelet Sozo team with Ineffa, featuring Ineffa, Novelet, Furina and Kazuha. Or you want a bit of more sustainable healing, though you know Novelet is already good enough with his self-sustaining, and Ineffa also gave him a shield. It's already okay, but if you do want it, then I think Shilonen is still going to be a fine character, though Kazuha is overall going to be the better character in an Ineffa team, because yes, he provides EM, which of course does benefit Lunar Charge overall when it comes to Ineffa team building. So yeah, Novelet is already a character that is very powerful. In the past, we already tried to have a bit of Electro Charge team with Novelet, though it obviously doesn't always work out, which is why the introduction of Ineffa will potentially bring back some more team comps of Electro Charge with Novelet, which is really nice. Other characters like Furina and Kazuha are definitely just going to be there to support and buff quite a lot. That's going to be Furina and Kazuha as a whole. So yes, very invested team, but if you do have these characters, which I think you do, because Furina and Kazuha and obviously Novelet are very popular character, if you have Ineffa, we can definitely try this team out. Overvape with Alekino is going to be another potential, with Ineffa, Alekino, Yelan and Bennett. Now considering the fact that Ineffa is a character that's going to be able to apply Electro pretty well off field, and not only that, she does nice sub DPS damage as well from her skill and her elemental burst. Overall, she's going to be a really decent sub DPS character for your team. Not to mention, of course, there's going to be Yelan on this with decent hydro applications. You're going to be able to trigger Electro Charge here and there. Obviously, it's not going to be consistent because, you know, again, Overvape is going to be something of a mixture of element reaction that's going on. So you're going to have, you know, a bit of Vaporize, going to be of Lunar Charge, and there's going to be of Overload with everything that's going on in the team. So can get a little bit hectic. However, everyone on the team will be able to benefit off of elemental reactions here and there. And considering the fact that all of these characters are really powerful, yeah, it's going to be a decent team for us to consider. Now, Raiden Shogun Electro Charge team in the past has always been one that some of us has been playing. Well, up until this point, since Electro Charge is coming back with Lunar Charge increase from Ineffa, Raiden team with Ineffa, Kokomi and Furina can be taken into consideration. Now the interesting thing about this is that Raiden Shogun doesn't always have to be on field, and then in this team we can technically even have a Kokomi riding on the field and have Raiden E skill to be available. The only thing and when Raiden is going to be on field is when Raiden is in her elemental burst. So while overall we're still going to be having a Raiden on this team, she's still going to be able to deal damage, but then Ineffa, Kokomi and Furina is still going to be having hydro off field support, sub DPS damage number, and overall it's going to be a rather nice team. Other electro characters you can consider basically in the very much same team is going to be Kuching, though if it's going to be in Kuching place, then you can consider character like Ineffa, Kuching, Shilonen, and a Furina for a little bit more of healing for the overall team. So yes, we can still consider that as a different team, but then again, some of these characters can pretty much work in the same team and they will still do rather well. Another potential is going to be a Hyper Bloom Sino team where we have Ineffa, Sino, Nida, and a Kokomi, for example. Obviously not going to be the best team out there, but there is going to be the potential that we can use this team. But of course, if you didn't remember that Ineffa is also a character that can buff your team's EM up to 150 EM for your team, which is rather nice. Another interesting team is going to be a Mizuki Electro Taser team with Ineffa, Mizuki, Ayato, and potentially a Furina. Well, yes, Mizuki has always been an interesting character, I would say. She's also a standard character that many of you may be able to have access to, and honestly speaking, the potential of dealing damage has never been too bad. You can actually use her and she's do really decent number, and with the introduction of Ineffa buffing and introducing Lunar Charge reactions, honestly it's not going to be too bad, with Furina also doing sub DPS damage and increasing your whole team damage as well. Ayato is there to continuously sustaining hydro application around the field, and he does that pretty decently well. Well, obviously if you don't want Ayato, then Kokomi is still going to be the pretty nice character to consider. So that's going to be another team that we can look into. Now other than that, if you guys love Cloran, then Electro carry Cloran alongside with Ineffa, Furina, and then a Kazuha, considering that Cloran is going to try and sustain herself. Overall, it is going to be another Electro pretty much Taser team, but this is probably going to be one of the better Electro Taser team out there, with having your hyper carry Electro DPS being the character that can deal pretty nice number, and that's going to be Cloran. Still one of the better Electro character out there for us to be using. Definitely going to be a team that I want to test out whenever Ineffa actually release. Now another potential team is regarding Risley, with Ineffa, Risley, Yelan, and a Bennett. Obviously this team is looking to be a bunch of reaction mixture that actually doesn't help Risley too much, but then again, considering how much off-field damage we're going to be able to do with Ineffa doing a bit of support towards Risley overall, we may be able to make this team work. Now obviously again, it's not going to be as good as, you know, for example an Escoffier Risley team, but then again, it is pre-release beta, we're just trying to cook up with some, you know, maybe stupid team here and there, but who knows, if you're a Risley main and you're looking for a new different kind of team comp, this may be able to work. Now moving on to some of the more free-to-play friendly teams that you can go with is going to be Ineffa, Xingqiu, Fischl, and Sucrose. Electro Charge Reaction has always been some of the more free-to-play friendly teams that many of us can look into, with yes, Xingqiu and Fischl still going to be able to do really nice off-field damage alongside with Ineffa, and Sucrose again going to be on-field doing normal attacking, helping the whole team swirling reactions, and overall yes, still going to be a very nice team overall, considering that it is technically using almost all 1.0 characters. Now Child Electro Charge team before has always been some of the team comps that we may consider whenever using him. Obviously not the best out there. Now Ineffa is a character that's going to be enabling Electro Charge a lot better. Maybe we can consider a team such as Ineffa, Child, Furina, and potentially Shilonen, so that you can actually heal. Again, most likely not going to be the best team overall, but then if you are still looking into playing around with Child, maybe something of a consideration building around and testing out a new team for him. Some other team comp, but it's going to be a less popular ones and more or less going to be on an honorable mention kind of side. While we can potentially look into a Veresa Electro Charge team with Ineffa, Furina, and a Xianyun plunging attack with Lunar Charge sounds kind of nice, so a little bit more of a team comp for Veresa overall. However, usually Veresa's kit is generally built for an overload plunging damage kind of team, and obviously Veresa would love to have Ian-san on her team, but this team is pretty much stacked already, and Ineffa is already taking place of Ian-san, so that's going to be a bit of a tough decision when we're trying to put Ian-san into the team. Ifa Driver Taser, you have Ifa, Ian-san, Furina, and Oran potentially being on the team. More or less going to be for some of you guys who love to play around with Ifa. Obviously again, it's not going to be too much of a popular team. Noelle, for example, Noelle, Ineffa, Furina, and a Zhongli potentially going to be a decent team for your Noelle. Not to mention, if you want to look into it, then maybe Navia, Ineffa, Furina, and a Shilonen would maybe a nicely introduced kind of team. Interestingly, we may be able to use that that. Lisa, if you still want to use her, like Lisa, Ineffa, Yelan, and a Sucrose, if Ineffa Shield can actually tank for you and you're not going to be needing healer, maybe it's still going to be kind of like a team that we can look into using. If you want more free play, then yeah, you can switch in Xingqiu in Yelan's place. Overall, that's not going to be too bad. So those guys are some of the team comps that we're trying to cook up for Ineffa at the current point. As we've already mentioned, yeah, most of the time she's still going to be practically be used in pretty much an electro charged team that have characters who are more specialized into those kind of thing. But then again, if you really want to have Ineffa broadening out her team comps diversity, then we're still going to be able to try and have a usage of her here and there in different kind of team comps. So leave it down in the comment section, guys, what kind of other team comps you guys may be considering Ineffa in, or whether or not you're going to be pulling for her. I hope that the videos have been enjoyable for you. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on my future Genshin videos. With that, I wish you a super day and I'll catch you on my next video.